Hello everyone, welcome to part 1 of the Python tutorial series. Today we're going to be looking at variables, what they are and how we can use them in our code. A variable is an assigned place in memory that stores a piece of data which may change. Over here we have an image of RAM. This is our computer's memory. This is where our variables are going to be stored. In Python, we can put a piece of data in our RAM by using a variable, and to define a variable, first of all, we give it a name. Then we use the equals sign, and then we give it a value. And when Python is looking at our code here, it will see first of all the variable name. So it will know that it needs to assign this to a place in memory. Then it will put the value into that piece of memory. And later on in your code, this can change. So you could change x to 6, and Python will change the value of x to 6, and it will no longer be 5. We can do this using the equal sign operator, which will assign the value on the right to the variable name on the left. So here we have 1 as our value and x as our variable. So it is assigning 1 into x. Here we have y being set to 3. And here we have z being set to x plus y. And the plus is another operator, plus sign. This is for addition. So it will add x and y together. And you can see here, x is 1. So it will add 1 to the value of y, which is 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4, which means z is, is being set to 4. And you can name a variable anything you want as long as it meets these basic requirements. So it cannot start with a number. So you cannot have 0x is equal to 4. This will not work. Your code will crash if you try to do this. It cannot contain spaces. So you cannot do x space y is equal to 5. This will not work. It's case sensitive, so be careful of this. It means if you define a variable using a capital letter and you try to access it with a lowercase letter, this will not work because capital X is not equal to lowercase x. They are not the same thing, and the same can be applied to any variable name. So if you did name with a capital, that is not the same of name as name with a lowercase. These are not the same, which means you must be careful and you must make sure you're always using the exact same capitalization throughout all of your variables whenever you try to access them. Why are they important? Variables can be used to store data for the time that the program is running. Now, this means if you close your program, all of the variables you are currently using are deleted, and they will have to be they'll be remade when you rerun your program. So, for example, if we need to get the user to input their name, we can take the result of the input built-in function. A built-in function is it's a piece of code built into Python that you can use on any computer that's running Python. So you could always use input, and another example as a built-in function is print. Now print will output something, and input takes an input. So these two are probably your most important built-in functions. You will be using these a lot. So here we're asking the user what is their name, and we are going to put their name into this variable, which we have called name. This could be called whatever we want, but because we're storing the name in it, it makes sense to call the variable name. And print will display everything inside of these brackets here. So it will display name, and it will display the value of name because it's a variable. So you can see we're going to display the value of name. Name is going to be set to whatever the user types in. And we can see this working on the next slide. As we can see, ask what my name is, and I put in my name, and it displays it. So name is set to input, and when I type stuff in, this then gets set to whatever I've typed in. So I entered my name, which then means that is equal to name. And when we print, which will display it, which is done here, when we're printing name, it is displaying Morgan because that is what I typed in. And that is the end. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more of these tutorials when they come out. Part 2 will probably be out quite soon after I upload this. And that will be about data types and built-in functions. So I'll show more examples of built-in functions and I'll elaborate on what they are a bit more. Peace out, everyone.